wrong questions.
Good morning, Dubai. Welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show. Our top stories today: an Emirati team rescued 2 men under Rubble after 9 days in the earthquake.
We'll also be talking about 15 Emirati women who were named among Forbes' 100 most powerful businesswomen.
This building and business bay is calling out tenants who have outstanding bills.
And Mona Katan will be joining season 2 of Dubai Bling.
And do stay tuned because later in the show we're going live with MS Talks 2.0 episode 3, an emotional roller coaster, how to divert from the road. That's all coming up later in the show. But first of all, I don't know what you were doing last night, but if you were watching season 4 dropped on Netflix and Simran has thoughts.
Oh yeah, so part 1 of season 4 dropped on Netflix earlier this week. And this weekend it dropped actually. And I watched a couple of the episodes and it's just become so much more gruesome. Like already it was glorifying serial killers and stalkers from season 1, right? Like that's a lot of backlash Netflix received on the show because of that reason. And season 4 you would think something would change, but no. It's glorifying it even more. Like there's a scene, right, where Penn Badgley is literally chopping up body parts and Cardi B's music is playing in the background. You know, it's like really desensitizing you to such gruesomeness.
That's what I was going to say, because I'm trying to remember the types of horrors that we watched growing up, and the whole thing of anything you watch horror, it's a shock and awe.
Yeah.
So whenever people go in to create these things, it's like if it's similar to last season, you need to kind of amp it up, or else you don't retain the viewership. People move on, they move on to different storylines. So it's actually the role of these creators to look for more gruesome, horrific scenarios, and they're clearly doing it because, as you're saying, it's more shocking than ever before.
Yeah.
And we as humans are becoming desensitized to it, which is not okay.
Exactly. And the problem with this show is that specifically, right, like they're trying to make you empathize with the main character. We
like him a
right?
little bit, don't we? We like him. Why is that?
Like they give
Joe
you
Goldberg.
reasons to empathize with him and really like relate to the protagonist, and like give you reasons as to why what he's doing is justified. So you're just like somewhere you're rooting for him, knowing what he's doing is so messed up and so wrong, yet you're like subconsciously on his side. You know, it's like that's what's so psychologically I think confusing to the viewer. Like you just don't understand exactly where your thoughts are.
Well, you're on his side, apart from the murder maniac type situation, because you kind of understand the love thing, because he's like, I'm doing this for you. I love you. You are part of me. You are everything. And it's all about the other person, which you kind of get if you're in love.
No!
But not the murder maniac bit. So then he goes too far. Now, I haven't seen season 4, so I don't really know what I'm talking about, but I've seen the other seasons.
But literally, you know, there are scenes where the women are running away from him and they're like, no, but you murdered, you know, you are a killer. And he's just like, yeah, but like you said, I did it for you. And then they're just like, no, you killed someone. And it's like...
And the yous change, by the way. So season 1, it's you. And then next season, it's you. And then the following season, it's you.
And it's just like, you, as a viewer, I'm just like, yeah, like, listen to him. He's doing it for you, you know? Like, you're so unappreciative, ungrateful. Like, what's wrong with you? But it's like, what? No, it's not what's wrong with you. It's what's wrong with us as viewers.
And and it's so interesting because what they do in the show is they make how he and whatever woman he's into at the time, how they're going about the murder is nearly normal. And it's like you don't see the switch in their head where they're thinking, okay, now I'm going to commit murder, because they do it so naturally and so organically that you're like, how have they just developed into this psycho, basically? So it's like, oh, I own a bakery and now I've got a body chopped up downstairs, and it's all very normal, and then you're watching it anyway. I don't like them. It's too much.
It's too much, yeah. And we know like this I think the streaming platform's whole obsession with like serial killers, right? Like they've had multiple documentaries on serial killers, and now what's his name, Penn Badgley is also like pretty much, he's put his statement out there and he's like, he condemns a lot of what's shown on the show, and he condemns like the show is basically condemning Joe's actions, but you don't really see that, right? It's more empathizing with his actions.
Weird one. There's a lot more sanitary things you can watch on Netflix, that is for sure. Let's jump into our top story. An Emirati team rescued 2 men under rubble 9 days after the earthquake. So our thoughts and prayers are with Turkey and Syria and its people, where the death toll following the horrific earthquake has surpassed 1,000 people. Now, in rare cases, rescue teams are still finding survivors, which is amazing. And Colonel Khalid Al-Hamadi, commander of the Emirati Search and Rescue Team in Turkey, announced that the efforts of an Emirati Search and Rescue Team squad succeeded in cooperation with the French rescue team in saving 2 people from Kahramanmaraş as part of the UAE's Gallant Night 2 operation.
So 2 men are 19 and 21 years old and rescued 9 days after they were buried under the rubble following the earthquake that struck on 6th of February. Now, Al-Hamadi noted that the area is being surveyed by the police dog unit of Velurism and the team, and of course followed by another survey by an area, the Emirati team, to ensure that no other survivors are trapped.
He indicated that there is still hope of finding survivors, and he also pointed out that the rescue and search team's efforts have contributed to saving many lives during the past few days. And if you need any information in terms of donations, Emirates Red Crescent are ongoing a 2-week campaign here in the UAE, and you can get in touch with them in terms of goods that you may wish to donate or money. Let's move on to our next story. We're talking all things Dubai Bling Season 2.
Now, Season 2 has been confirmed, like you guys know, and Mona Katan will be joining it as of the next season. Now, looks like another friendly face will officially be joining the dazzling Dubai Bling Season 2. So Mona Katan has confirmed that she will now be a part of the Netflix reality show, which aired back in October 27, 2022, and that revolves around the lives of some of Dubai's wealthiest individuals. Now, Mona Katan, of course, needs no introduction, but for those living under a rock, Mona Katan is an entrepreneur and co-founder of Huda Beauty, a cosmetics company that she started with her sister Huda Katan in 2013.
She is also involved in various philanthropic initiatives and has been recognized for her contributions to the beauty industry, obviously. And now we'll see more of the beauty mogul on the show that didn't disappoint last season with drama and fashion and more drama. Season 2 of Dubai Bling's release date is yet to be confirmed. We know it's happening. We have a sneaky suspicion it's filming right now. How do they keep the filming under wraps? That's what I want to know. Like, unless you follow the stars on Instagram, and you might notice like they're getting. I remember following Chris Fade, and I saw he was getting his makeup done professionally quite regularly last year.
Yeah.
What's that for? And you knew it was something, and then you never saw what he was filming for. So you need to like follow and keep an eye if you're interested in Season 2.
You know what? I think last year we had so many hints and drops and this and that as to like, okay, something is happening, but let's not get into it until it's official. But now, you know what? Like, why? Why wait? Like, as soon as we see it, like, just go and snap it, grab it, you know, like
figure out what the questions are,
put the puzzle pieces together.
What's Mona's storyline going to be like? I'm sure her husband's going to feature on the show. Does that mean Huda's going to be on the show?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
You're asking all the right questions. So you're going to see probably more of the Katan sisters, and we know they're like somewhere into reality shows because they had their own a couple years ago,
the
right?
Facebook series
the
or
Facebook
a separate
series.
one?
Yeah, that
I
one.
remember that one, yeah.
And it was all about the sisters, and I think just like, you know, like the BTS of the business.
We love a sister mogul beauty business. It's 100%. Like, yeah, they're such power females. We love them, and we love like them showing even more of their behind the scene lives because it's so incredible what they've done. They're an international beauty brand. They're based here in Dubai. It's such an incredible business story. And they just seem like incredible. I had the opportunity, I ran into them once. I ran into Huda and Mona once, about 6 years ago. They were so nice, loved them, so natural. And yeah, I just can't wait to see them on this show. And
very humble beginnings, and you really see that. Like, I've never met them, never been that lucky, but like, I think just on social media, the way they just portray themselves, like,
they're funny.
Yeah, and seemed like very chill, down to earth, you know. So it's
they don't take anything too seriously, you know what I mean? And that's what I like.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like seeing that chemistry with the rest of the cast, and you know, like seeing how if they're, you know, like how it works. It's interesting.
But that's what was cool about Dubai Bling Season 1, because I think the characters really did stay predominantly themselves. Like Saf and Zayd are already friends.
Yeah.
Beforehand, for example. Groups. But like the kind of individual cast members, it's not like they tried too hard to like ingratiate themselves on the other groups. They just like, they were like, I am me.
Yeah. I think the only connecting dot was probably Chris Fade.
Between all of them, because he knew everyone.
Yeah, and he wasn't like really feuding with any of the groups. He was just like there, and then he would call like, I think during his, you know, get-togethers, that's when everyone really united.
Oh yeah, because he was the link between all of them.
Yeah.
That's true.
I don't know. But it's interesting to see like how she's gonna either change or add to the dynamics. So
and whether or not there'll be more people joining.
Of course.
Fresh meat, they called it. Let's jump into our next story. This building in Business Bay is calling out tenants who have outstanding bills. No one likes to be called out, especially if it's in public, but what if you were being called out in front of your neighbours? A building in Business Bay is under fire for calling out its tenants for their unpaid bills, and they've done it publicly in the form of a piece of paper smacked up on the wall.
I mean, that's messed up. So some apartments were called out for final reminders, and others were told that they would be disconnected in a public document that shows the apartment number, the number due, and the status. I feel like that is such a breach of privacy.
Yeah, look, there's comments on both sides of it. Breach of privacy is what some people are saying. There's for and against it. So others people are saying, look, this is okay. You use the goods, therefore you pay for it. Other people are saying this happens all the time. So actually, it's not that surprising. It happens in many buildings, in Marina and such as. I was just surprised that the amount isn't actually that much. I'm thinking if you're getting called out, because like
for a massive outstanding
it's going to be
amount.
for like a couple of months. It looks like this is like for a month or two. So maybe this is kind of regular practice, and it's like every month you pay your bill because we need to pay the bills as the building as a whole. I don't know, but the comments show that it's actually more common than you might have thought in some buildings. I haven't seen it before personally, but apparently it's quite common.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's common. I know it's very, very strict over here because you submit checks and all those practices are there. So in case it bounces, like there are fines and penalties and all those issues. So I'm not really sure how you can have outstanding payments like in this case. But even if there are some, I would not think this is the way to do it. And that to like state the flat number. And just imagine a random person coming in, like being privy to that knowledge of like the flat number, the name, and like the amount. Like it's just too much information that you're giving out about a tenant residing in your building. Like I just don't think that is the way. Like putting personal notices to each of the flats or whatever it is, like may be more effective. But just calling them out like that is beyond, I think, a privacy breach.
So there are probably better ways to go about it. Now, some women who know amazing ways to go about their business and they have been recognized just so are these Emirati powerful business women.
Exactly. So now 15 Emirati women were named among Forbes' 100 most powerful business women. So these are the people that are making waves and being recognized for their impressive effort at work. Now, Forbes Middle East published the 100 most powerful businesswomen list, which features leading women from 27 different sectors and 27 countries. So the UAE has always been a place to encourage women's empowerment, and this is just the beginning. And the following ladies have left their mark in the fields of healthcare, telecommunications, finance, education, and more. We're just going to list out 5 of the top ones listed.
So these are the top 5. Now, these are the people we should be following on social media. You know what I mean? Like, these women are probably working night and day. They have incredible roles. They're doing incredible things in business. I want to know more about these ladies. Should try to get them on the show, but they're busy. So number 5, she came in at number 29 in the total list. Aisha bin Bishr is the vice chairwoman of Emaar Development, doing big things in Emaar. So if she has time, she's not going on the show. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I wonder what she's doing.
Honestly, just like following them, I feel like it's such an inspiration, like anything they post out. And I'm sure, you can take a lot from these women. And coming at number 24, you have Raja Al-Mazuri. Now, Raja is currently serving as both the managing director and acting CEO of Etihad Credit Insurance.
And then number 11 in the list, but number 3 in Emirati female power businesswomen, Mariam Al-Suwaidi. In October 2021, Mariam Al-Suwaidi was appointed as the CEO of SCA through a federal decree, making her the first woman to hold this position in the Gulf Cooperation Council.
Making waves. Now, for number 2, we have Raja Essa Al Ghurg. Now, Raja Essa is the chairperson and managing director of Essa Salah Al Ghurg Group.
And in number 1, not just here in the region, across the region as a whole, in Forbes 100 most powerful businesswomen, is Hannah Al Rostami, who's the group CEO of the first Abu Dhabi bank and first female CEO of FAB in 2021. So incredible female there to follow there on the list. And if you want to see the full list of Emirati females which featured, you can check it out on Lovin Dubai. Farah Mahlouf wrote an amazing article on it over the last couple of days.
Exactly. So you have the full list of the 15 women that made the list in that article, and it's just so impressive. Like, a big congratulations to these ladies. and the amount of work and efforts they've put in, and that too many on the list are like the firsts in their fields to do this, to do that, to top that. So it's just such an inspiration knowing that this is possible, that women are making waves, they are really trying to break the glass ceiling. So like major kudos.
Very well said. Next, we're going to jump into MS Talks 2.0, Episode 3, an emotional roller coaster, how to divert from the road. MS Talks 2.0 is a collaboration between Lovin Dubai and Novartis. It's a 10-episode series which brings together experts and members of the community to bring awareness to multiple sclerosis. Now, in this episode, we attempt to navigate the difficult journey of diagnosis under the guidance of Muna Al-Harbi, who is an MS patient advocate, member of the National MS Society, and transformational and personal growth coach. Stay tuned, she's going to be with us right after this. Welcome back to MS Talks 2.0, Let's Discuss Facts, a series brought to you by Novartis, where we break down the barriers and misconceptions of multiple sclerosis. Life is a roller coaster of emotions on a normal day, let alone when you've been handed a diagnosis such as MS. In this episode, we're looking to help navigate the journey of a diagnosis, and with us today is Mona Al-Harbi, MS patient advocate, member of the National MS Society, and transformational and personal growth coach. Mona is an MS patient here to discuss in her own words her journey with the disease so we can gain a better understanding of the internal challenges and struggles she faced along the way. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Not at all. Can you describe a little bit about your diagnosis with MS?
I was diagnosed by the end of 2015, and I started my treatment in 2016, but the symptoms began with me way before that, like in 2012. Yeah.
What were the initial symptoms that you felt?
It was at the beginning, it was numbness in all my body and loss of sensation, and I ignored it, and I thought maybe it was from the pregnancy or maybe something in my spine or something like that. So I thought it will go away after having the baby. But in my third pregnancy, after having the baby, I couldn't walk. I was basically crawling on the floor, and that shocked me, but still, because of lack of information and because I didn't know anything about this disease, I thought it was like something about giving birth and pregnancy issues, and I ignored it for like around 1 year until I went to get checked up, and they told me that I have MS.
Wow, and can you remember that day?
Yes, I remember it very clearly because I went to 5 doctors actually until I was accepting my diagnosis. And because I didn't know anything about this illness, I thought like if I go to another doctor, he will give me a cure and I will be okay and I will go back to my normal life. And it was all because I didn't know anything about this disease. And then when I slowly learned about it and I started to accept my diagnosis, I went through all that phase, you know, the phases that people go through, like the denial and the depression and the anger. I went through all of that until I realized like MS is a life-changing disease and that I should take it serious and I should start accepting that I need to start my treatment.
And at what point were you able to tell your friends and family about the diagnosis?
In the beginning, as I mentioned, because I didn't know about it, I mentioned it to them. But luckily, I have a sister that is a doctor, and she realized from the beginning what it was. But it took her time. It took her time until she told me about how serious it is. So. At the beginning, it was first my close family, my mother, my sister. And then after I accepted the diagnosis, I started telling the people who are close to me that can understand my situation and what I was going through.
And can you remember their reactions at the time?
I would say the close people were very similar to my reaction. Like they had some had denial, some had like confusion, and why me? We're a big family member. Why only me? That I'm the only one who got this disease, and some had some fear, and they tried to treat me differently, like with more caution or sensitive, and it was annoying for me in the beginning as well, but I think it's a phase we all go through. Even the families of people with MS, they go through similar phases, maybe differently, or maybe they think about it differently, but I think it's an emotional roller coaster for them as well.
Well, it's so amazing to have you here and sharing your journey. So once again, thank you. But going back to your own journey, do you ever experience feelings of denial? You've kind of touched on already, or maybe hiding your own emotions, considering your diagnosis?
To be honest, my phases I went through in accepting this illness was mixed up. Like first, I was in deep denial, and then I went to a very, very anger phase. That anger reflected on my life very badly and the people surrounding me, and then which led me to depression. And I had a severe depression like for 1 year. I went through the process all, and then the fear and this anxiety about my life is changing and my functionality might be changing, and all these issues. It was very hard for me, and it's a long process. Every patient or every MS person experience it differently. I took like a year and a half until I overcame that phase of my life, and eventually I reached the acceptance I need to be in, and now I'm in a good place, and I'm helping others, and I'm advocating about the MS awareness, and I'm trying to push the awareness in a level that it can reach all ages and all demographics. So any person is diagnosed with such a disease, he knows directly, and he has a shorter period to overcome and reach the acceptance he needs.
Speaking of acceptance, of course, every journey is different, but how did you find acceptance personally?
Actually, it wasn't easy. It was a long process, but I would say I took like a 6-month journey. It's like a coaching program. It was 6 months, and by the end of the program, I reached the mental state that I needed to overcome and to live with such a disease.
Well, I think it's so great that you're sharing your story. Of course, as an advocate to others, would you have any advice to people who have been recently diagnosed? What would be your message to them?
My message always is 5 words. Awareness. You need to know all the information you need about this disease. Change. You need to change many things in your life and your lifestyle and the people around you. Actions. You need to take some actions in order to keep moving forward in accepting this disease. And perspective. You need to change your perspective, how you look at the things. For example, how you look at the wheelchair, how you look at life, how you look at your friends and family and close people. And finally, acceptance. You need to reach to a level of acceptance that will make you overcome all the challenges that comes with MS.
Wow. Such important messages, and thank you so much for sharing that with us today. Really appreciate your time.
I appreciate you having me. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. That was MS Talks 2.0. Let's discuss facts.